You step on a beetle, it survives, so you stomp harder, still alive. You grab a hammer, full force. The hammer wins absolutely nothing. This is not fiction. This is a real insect that scientists literally struggle to crush. An insect that has been quietly perfecting its armor for millions of years, while we were still figuring out bronze. Meet the ironclad beetle. This beetle lives right now in Texas and Central America. It is about the size of your thumbnail. It looks completely unremarkable. And it is one of the most structurally advanced creatures ever discovered on this planet. By the end of this video, you will never walk past a beetle on the ground without wondering, is that one of them? Let me give you a sense of scale here. Entomologists, the scientists who study insects, mount their specimens by pressing a steel pin through the body. Standard procedure. Has worked on every insect they have ever collected. The ironclad beetle bends the pins, not breaks them, bends them. The beetle sits there completely unbothered, while a steel needle buckles against his shell. At this point, the beetle is basically ignoring physics. So how does a creature made of basically the same material as your fingernail become structurally tougher than some metals? Scientists at Mississippi State University decided they needed an answer. And what they found inside this beetle's exoskeleton sounds less like biology and more like something designed in a classified military facility. The shell contains what is called a bulligon structure. Picture microscopic fibers woven together like a spiral staircase through multiple layers. When a force hits the shell, instead of cracking straight through like glass, that spiral pattern forces the fracture to twist sideways, like twisting a crack into a maze, until it gets completely lost inside the structure. The beetle does not resist cracks, it redirects them. And somehow, evolution arrived at a structure human engineers are only now beginning to understand. But here is where it gets genuinely unhinged. Most insects harden their shells using proteins. Simple, biological, completely standard. The ironclad beetle looked at that approach and said, "No, we are going mining." X-ray analysis of its exoskeleton revealed calcium carbonate, iron oxide, zinc oxide, and manganese oxide woven directly into the shell. This beetle is literally infusing industrial minerals into its own body armor. Calcium carbonate, the material seashells are made of, iron oxide, rust, but load-bearing, zinc and manganese oxides, compounds used in industrial strengthening processes. Think of a biological chainmail, reinforced concrete woven at microscopic scale, built into a living creature. This insect has been doing what human materials engineers spend decades trying to figure out, and it has been doing it since before dinosaurs walked the earth. If this beetle existed at human scale, it would be the most terrifying thing alive. Thankfully, it is the size of your thumbnail. Thankfully. So, you have this beetle, apocalypse-proof armor, metal-infused shell, fracture-redirecting exoskeleton, completely unkillable. What does it do with all of that power? It eats lichen. Slowly. That is the whole personality. The most structurally advanced creature in the insect kingdom spends its days quietly scraping fungus off tree bark like a tiny, unbothered janitor who knows nobody can fire him. Birds probably see this insect and immediately file a complaint. It cannot even fly. Its elite armor permanently fused its wing casings shut. It surrendered flight entirely in exchange for being impossible to kill. And honestly, fair trade. When a bird tries to eat one, it is more likely to crack its own beak than leave a mark on the beetle. Predators learn very quickly that this particular insect is simply not worth the effort. This thing is built like a Nokia phone, except the Nokia phone eventually cracked. The ironclad beetle does not need to run. does not need to hide, does not need to fight. It just exists, completely unthreatened. In a world full of things trying to eat it, it simply chose to become unkillable, and then went back to eating moss. Honestly, aspirational. Here is why this matters beyond being the most interesting thing you will say at a dinner table this year. Aerospace and automotive engineers are actively studying this beetle right now. The way its shell handles and redirects impact force is directly inspiring new designs for aircraft joints, body armor, and spacecraft shielding. A beetle the size of your thumbnail, eating lichen under a piece of bark in Texas, is quietly rewriting the future of human engineering. Nature did not just get there first. Nature got there millions of years ago, perfected it, and never once bothered to publish the research. Somewhere in Texas right now, under a piece of bark, there is a beetle carrying one of the most advanced natural armor systems ever discovered on Earth, and most people will walk right past it without ever knowing. That is the terrifying part about nature. The strongest things on this planet are almost always the smallest. Subscribe for more creatures that sound completely fictional, but aren't. See you next time.